Hello, today I'm going to be reviewing this Go Pet Club Pet Dog Grooming Table with arm. This comes in multiple sizes. I have the 42-inch one. I've owned this for like 3 or 4 years now, so I'll go over the pros and cons as well as any secret tips that I've learned along the way. So just a quick overview. This comes in a couple different colors. I think it's just like black and blue. I have the black version, and then it comes in different sizes. I have the largest, the 42-inch. My dog is a Golden Doodle, and she's 14 years old, so we got this when she was about 10. And I'll just tell you, before we had this, sometimes we would take her to a groomer, sometimes we would groom her at our own house. But as we groomed her at home more and more, it became easier and easier, and we were able to do it faster, so it was less of a hassle. But what we found is when trimming her hair on the floor, we would notice that after like an hour or two of cutting her hair, our back would start to hurt because we're hunched over the whole time. And that's why we got this. And just right out of the gate, I'll tell you, this is a huge saver for the back. Back pain, our backs would hurt for like a day after grooming when we were grooming on the floor. Now it's just a matter of, it takes like an hour or two, and so you still have to take breaks to like pause and stuff like that. We're not, again, professional groomers, me and my wife, but this has really helped us with being able to groom her and save our back. It also, when she was on the ground, our dog, she would oftentimes try to run away after a while, so there were like repeatedly we'd have to try and pull her back in and get her to sit down and to stay still. And that was always a fight. With this, because it is elevated and she's strapped in here with the neck loop, she can't run away. And so it's like when we take a break when we want to, as opposed to when she runs away. So that's another pro. Just kind of going over this, it is waterproof, static free, so we've never been shocked on this. We don't wash it with water or anything like that, but it probably can. Usually what we do is we just sweep underneath and we sweep it into like a bag, and then we'll vacuum up, and that it's really easy to use the hose attachment on a vacuum, just clean it off. You can see there are a couple of stains on here just from use over time, and again, we don't clean it with water, but I think that's simple enough that if we were to just take like a rag, that's dirt from our paws, so if we were just to take a washcloth or something like that, it would easily come off. Now, this isn't that heavy. It's like 36 pounds or something like that, but it's heavy enough that if you're small, this is going to be a bit of weight for you. So my wife has me pick this up. I can lift it with one hand. This is kind of not necessarily a con, but more of a wish, is I wish there was a handle here to grab it with, because usually what I end up doing is I grab it like right here on the leg, and it's probably not the best thing to do. So you could see here, I can lift it up no problem with one hand. It's kind of hard to show. Here you can see I can lift it up with one hand. So it's hard to show with camera one hand, but I'll just fold this onto the bottom. It's really easy to set up. These legs just kind of lift up and then they lock into place. You want to just pop that out like that, and then this leg, you just lift it up, and then you gotta kind of get that. There we go. Sorry, it's a weird angle because I'm using across the body hand. So I'm gonna have to pause to flip this over because I do need two hands to flip this over, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I got this flipped over. It's right side up. This may be a pro, it may be a con, but this is a fixed height, so you can't adjust the height of the table itself. So where it's at is where it's gonna be. This is a pretty good height, I think. The adjustment comes here from the bar, from the arm here. So there are a couple adjustments that you can do. First of all, this little collar thing, this little collar thing here is adjustable. You can just take this off right here, and you can hook it onto these different loops, or down here on the bar, there's some more loops. If you loosen this is where we usually keep it. If you loosen that, you can pull it out, and as you can see, as I pull it longer and longer, there we go. At the bottom here, are some more loops. So you can make it really tall. This is 42 inches, right? And so this is about another 42 inches. So you can accommodate really large dogs. I think the weight limit of this table is 100 pounds. And so you're gonna hit the weight limit of the dog before you hit the height limit of the dog. So that's not a concern. And because this is adjustable, you can get it where you want. Our dog is about 30 inches high from the floor to the shoulders, which in dog measurements is called the withers. So this is where we keep it here. So we keep it right there. We put that on there, and then this works fine for us. Now another thing is too, this is adjustable. So if you loosen this little clamp right here, you can slide this piece up and down on the bar. So in combination with this and this, you can really get it adjusted to where you want. So these ones are up at the top are usually for like a full adult dog, a full-size adult dog. These over here are probably for puppies because you want them to be a little bit lower. And then finally, there's this little knob here, which you rotate here, and then you clamp that on the table. So it's kind of like, usually put it on this end, put it in there, and clamp it. Again, I need 2 hands for that. So I'll do that real quick, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like fully assembled. Okay, so now this is fully assembled. You see kind of what it looks like. And then this loop is just for the dog. You can put their head through that, and then that'll keep them on the table. I will pick up my dog and put her on here real quick. One secret tip, depending on the age of your dog and how heavy they are, again, the weight limit's like 100 pounds. But if they're too heavy for you to lift up here, one secret tip is to get like a set of doggy stairs, and then they can just walk up there on their own. So that's another handy thing to keep in mind. So let me grab my dog and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my dog up on here. You can see how it looks. Overall, I just put the loop through here, and then you can adjust it by pulling this up or down. And I mean, she's pretty comfortable up here at this point. You can see she's yawning because she is a little bit nervous. She doesn't know what's happening. But yeah, so it works good. Let me get her down and I'll go over some of the general pros and cons and stuff that I missed so far. Okay, so just some final general thoughts that I didn't get to. This is really easy to clean. Like I said, it's waterproof. We don't really care about the dirt too much. We just kind of wipe it down with a dry paper towel. But if we really cared about some of these dirt spots, we could just use a wet paper towel, and that would clean this up. Typically, like I said, we'll sweep it off, we'll use a broom, we'll sweep underneath, collect the hair, and then we'll vacuum. And we'll use the hose attachment to vacuum up here. That's about the extent of what we do. One thing I really like is that it folds down. So earlier you saw how little space it can take, because we only cut our dog's hair like once a quarter. So it's like every 3 months. And so to get this out of the way and have it fold up is really nice. It's nice that it's non-slip. It's very sturdy. We've never had any accidents with the dog or anything like that. I like the loop because our dog has never jumped off. She sometimes gets a little anxious depending on what area of the body we're cutting, but that's to be expected, and that's going to happen whether you're on a table or not. This, as I mentioned, is very adjustable, so you can customize that. It comes in different colors and sizes, so you can find one that fits you. And then again, the weight is kind of a con because it's only like 39 pounds, as I said, but it's too heavy for my wife to lift. She can lift it, but she prefers to ask me to lift it so that she doesn't have to. So if weight's an issue, just keep in mind that could be something. This is really durable. I don't see this breaking anytime soon. This is very sturdy construction too. One thing I will note too, so I mentioned earlier that generally I like this. One thing that has happened though earlier today when I was pulling this out, because we don't keep this out, it's stored away, but when I was pulling it out to review it, this arm was seated up, it was standing in the corner. I pulled the table out and this arm fell and hit me in the back of the leg, in the calf, and I was wearing shorts, and because it's hard to see here, but it's not like smooth, it doesn't have a cap on it. This other end has a cap. And actually, I think it was that end that got me, is right there. And it's plastic. It's hard to see, but there's a little scrape here in the plastic, and that's what got me. It scraped the back of my leg. It didn't bleed or anything, but just wish the ends were a little bit more rounded. But that's minor. We've had this for 4 years, and this is the first time I got scratched, and it was because I was going too fast trying to hurry to get this out. So anyways, this is a really great product. I highly recommend it if you groom your dog at home and you're tired of crouching down on the floor and hurting your back. This is a huge saver for that. So anyways, I hope this was useful, and thank you for watching.